Welcome back to Purpose Quest, where we're diving into the Proverbs chapter by chapter to uncover what it reveals about discovering your purpose and leaving a legacy. Today, we are unlocking the secrets to living a truly purposeful life. Hi, I'm Dr. Andrea Richards Scott, your purpose guide, and this is Purpose Quest. Let's jump right in. Proverbs 4 gives us a front row seat to an incredible father-son conversation. Solomon, the wisest man who ever lived, is pouring out legacy-level wisdom to his son. And here's what he says. Whatever you do, above all else, get wisdom. And while you're at it, get understanding. Now, let's pause. Did you catch that? Solomon didn't say get rich. He didn't say get famous. He didn't even say get comfortable. No, he said get wisdom. Why? Because wisdom is what protects you, guides you, and lifts you up when life gets heavy. This speaks to me deeply because I've lived it. Let me share a little of my story. My wisdom journey began years ago. I went back to school to pursue my doctorate in organizational development. Now, I already had an MBA, but my degree was in marketing, and the world had changed so much that what I had learned felt outdated. I knew God had more for me, but going back to school at 49 was no joke. I was surrounded by fresh, young minds who could memorize textbooks like it was nothing. And meanwhile, I was struggling. I tried to rely on memorization, but it wasn't working. One time, I memorized an entire essay, forgot one sentence, and the whole thing fell apart. That's when I realized I needed wisdom. I had to truly understand what I was learning. I had to connect to the real life experiences. I had to scaffold it onto what I already knew. And guess what? That's exactly what Solomon is talking about in Proverbs 4. Wisdom isn't just head knowledge, it's heart knowledge. It's living what you learn so it sticks, so it transforms you. Let's break down Proverbs 4, verses 6 to 9. Do not forsake wisdom, and she will protect you. Love her, and she will watch over you. The beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom. Though it costs all you have, get understanding. Cherish her, and she will exalt you. Embrace her, and she will honor you. She will give you a garland to grace your head and present you with a glorious crown. So let's talk about some of this for a moment. First, wisdom protects you. The Bible calls us to love wisdom because wisdom protects us. When we embrace wisdom, we start making wise choices. Wisdom helps us to spot danger before it even gets close. It leads us to decisions that protects us from financial harm, reputational damage, and unnecessary struggles. Have you ever noticed how wisdom keeps you from following the crowd? It stops you from chasing short-term gains. Instead, it leads you to focus on the long term, diligence, patience, and integrity. That's where the real reward comes from. Second, wisdom exalts you. The word says to cherish wisdom. To cherish something means to hold it close, to treasure it, to focus on it. When we cherish wisdom, it exalts us. That means God will elevate you beyond where you are now. Imagine where you are today, and then imagine multiplying it tenfold. That's what happens when you hold wisdom close to your heart. God will take you higher, not because of your ambitions, but because of your obedience. Third, wisdom honors you. The word tells us to embrace wisdom. Think about who or what you typically embrace. Someone you love, someone you treasure or want to stay close to. When you embrace wisdom, it will honor you. Even if you're not seeking fame or recognition, people will see the wisdom you carry. They'll notice your competence, your character, and your impact. Wisdom makes you the kind of person others are drawn to, whether it's in your family, your community, or your career. Wisdom sets you apart. Fourth, wisdom elevates you. Finally, wisdom brings it all together. When you seek wisdom, God elevates you, not in a way that glorifies you, but in a way that glorifies Him. That crown Solomon mentions, whether it's literal or symbolic, it represents God's approval and His desire to position you as a leader in His kingdom. Wisdom places you in a position of influence, power, and purpose. Let me bring this home. Remember how I said Solomon was the wisest king who ever lived? Do you know how he got that wisdom? He asked for it. In 1 Kings chapter 3, Solomon is a young king, overwhelmed by the weight of his role. God appears to him in a dream and says, "Ask me for anything." And instead of asking for riches or power, Solomon asked for wisdom to lead God's people well. God was so pleased with Solomon's request that he gave him not only wisdom, but also riches and honor. So let me ask you, what are you asking God for? What are you asking him for right now? Are you asking for something temporary, or are you asking for wisdom to step into your purpose? For me, going back to school wasn't just about earning a degree. It was about humbling myself, seeking wisdom, and trusting God to guide me. And he did. But here's the thing. Wisdom isn't just a reward. It's a responsibility. When you live out wisdom, it doesn't just change your life. It impacts everyone around you. My challenge to you today is to think about these questions. What would it look like to prioritize wisdom today? Maybe it's seeking godly advice, or maybe it's asking God, just like Solomon did, for wisdom in a specific area of your life. Here's the promise. James chapter 1, verse 5 says, "If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault." When you ask God, he will show up. I hope this message blessed you today. If it did, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And don't miss my next video, where we'll dive into Proverbs 5, verse 21, to unpack how God's guidance can keep us on the right path. Until then, remember, God has entrusted you, equipped you, and empowered you for your purpose. Stay faithful, stay focused, and I'll see you in the next video. God bless you.